What's up, Crypt Nation? I wanted to come at you guys today with this market weather report and coins of the week update in video format today. You guys know sometimes I like to switch it up. A lot of writing I've been doing recently, so I wanted to come at you guys with a video because I feel like it's been a while for the folks that aren't lifers. So we've been doing a deep dive actually on this index coup. Full disclaimer, we're very big fans of index, and we hold tokens of index, and just like all the model portfolio coins, and that hasn't changed. We really do believe in this stuff, and we wanted to walk you through kind of index coup, what it is, and then also set protocol. You guys heard the story that I shared with you guys about Felix Fang. If you guys read that, really cool guy, and he's built a really awesome platform in token sets and the set protocol. And I also want to walk you guys through this really cool platform called Matcha, matcha.xyz, www.matcha.xyz. And this is where you could buy, it basically aggregates liquidity from 0x, Balancer, Curve. Let me zoom in here. 0x, Balancer, Uniswap, SushiSwap, Kyber, all these things, right? And you can, look for any, ERC20 token, like Index, for instance, Index Cooperative. You can go to that token, and you over here you just click I understand, because there's going to be a little pop up for you the first time you see it. You click I understand that it's this imported thing. You could choose a token. You have to connect your MetaMask, and then you put it in some Ethereum, mark it, and then you could go ahead and click back and forth. You pay in Ethereum and you receive Index. You put in 0.1. And it finds the best price. And, you got to be careful here with the slippage. It'll give you a warning if you're going to go over. But, maxes out at 1%. And it gives you a warning sign if it's not at 1%. So, you review order, finalizes the quotes, you place the order. You got to be wary about the fees, though. That's kind of what I wanted to show you guys, is that, at this point in the Ethereum network, it's, pretty expensive to do these sorts of on-chain transactions. So it doesn't make sense to, unfortunately, right now, until layer 2 comes, a lot of these smaller size transactions for these really offbeat small cap coins, right? This is a $37 million market cap coin. It's got $1 million worth of trading volume. I'll zoom in here again. This is really cool. You can see this here. So yeah, this is a great tool. So you could go and see at CoinGecko.com, you could see all the different supply, where the treasury is being, allocated towards, which is really cool, right? It's very transparent. That's why, when I was talking about Felix, he's just a super transparent, super open guy. And I think he's imbued a lot of that into this index cooperative. So I'm a really big fan of it. But yeah, so Matcha, anyhow, really cool system that connects, instead of going, you could also go to Uniswap .exchange or app.uniswap.org. Select a token. You could type in index right here, and it should pop up right here. And if it doesn't for some reason, you could go down here and click manage, and you could add these different token lists. I use the CoinGecko token list. They've got the most. You see 1,900 tokens. But yeah, you got to be careful. Making sure that you're not clicking on the wrong token. It might say index. There might be another token called index something else. Our index is the one with the owl that we're fans of, right? There's CBI index and DeFi and DGen and all these, NDX, right? It's not that one. So that's kind of, another really cool tool that, that we've been using. So Uniswap and Matcha. This is another thing I wanted to walk you guys through, was kind of the release schedule. And, tokens, just like Bitcoin, it has an inflation schedule, right? A monetary distribution schedule over time of new tokens until eventually it maxes out at a hard cap, right? In Bitcoin's case, it's 21 million. In Index's case, it's in that 21 million in Bitcoin's case, it was 21 million tokens over the course of, basically from 2009 until about 2030 something, about 2033, I think, is when the 21 millionth Bitcoin effectively will be mined. So in Index's case, there's, an inflation schedule, and, Tezos has an inflation schedule, and Aave has an inflation schedule, and all that. But I really like this one because it seems like it's a really fair launch where most of the coins go to the community. over a long period of time for people that are really, actively engaging in the system, whether it's through voting or mining on the network by providing liquidity. That see this over down here, DPI liquidity mining. So by holding the DPI tokens, you could earn more index. So I really think that, what Index has done has been tremendous. And kind of at the end of the day, it trades on Uniswap, and Matcha, like I said. And it's such a small market cap. It's not very liquid, so you want to be careful. You might even want to go. What's cool on Matcha? Before I dive into the other stuff, what's cool on Matcha is that you could place limit orders as well. So you could go Index. See, here's this little thing: trade at your own risk. You understand it's that contract, and you can click a limit order. And if you have USDT, or if you have USDC or DAI. Or some of these coins, even wrapped Ethereum, you can go and place a limit order. So you choose the token that you want to do. Say it's USDC coin, and you could click the price. So if you say, you don't want to buy it at 27, you want to buy it at maybe 25. So then it moves your limit order down there, and you could say, I want that to expire in 3 days, 24 hours, 7 days. Boom, and you could place it, and it'll show you. I'll say I don't really have any USDC in this wallet right now, but if I did, I could say 2, and it will say you'll get 0.08 index. Maybe I say, I want to do 25 USDC at a price of 25, and boom, you're going to get 1 index. So anyhow, really cool tool that I think is super undervalued right now. Matcha, doesn't have a coin. Will they in the future? Maybe. That would be pretty interesting. But it's kind of a tool that I've just been kind of using a lot more recently because it gives you the best prices across all the networks. So instead of just being on SushiSwap, or instead of just being on Kyber, or just being on Bankward, it actually goes and scratches through all of those to find you the best prices and best liquidity, and gives you a really nice fill. So I like Matcha. Index, I'm just really excited about right now. Token sets, this is where you could find the DeFi Pulse Index, and we made a post about the DeFi Pulse Index recently, actually, about how we thought it was just a good passive investment vehicle. If it holds, what is a index fund, right? It's something that holds Uniswap, Aave, Synthetic, Sushi, Maker, a bunch of these different tokens, and you could get exposure to all of these tokens by just holding one, right? So it kind of aggregates price action from all of these things and weights it based on market cap. Generally speaking, there's a bunch of different ways to weight it. So the DeFi Pulse is a capitalization weighted index that tracks the performance of a decentralized financial asset across the market. So here's the objective. You guys could go through, and I highly, highly, highly encourage you guys to actually go through, maybe pause and read this. But it's really valuable to understand the methodology of how indexes are being created. Particularly because it's really freaking cool. In the same way that the S&P 500, is a great investment vehicle for passive, risk-adjusted returns. There's now ways that, everyday people just with a MetaMask could go in and could just, buy, a nice, safe, risk-adjusted return, and, that tracks really closely with the DeFi movement. And it's asset management simplified. Anyhow, so when Felix was originally pitching this whole idea back in 2018 and at the Ethereum San Francisco conference, and I saw it, I was like, holy smokes, this thing is nuts. Really, really smart guy, and just a really nice guy as well. So I want to support him. I think it's really cool, and I'm going to be voting on all this stuff and basically watching to see how, you could go down here if you see on CoinGecko.com, you could click down here on the index, gov.index coupon, and you could actually get involved. Which is amazing. So they call themselves, like how I call you guys, Crusaders of Crypt Nation. They say, hi, owls, which is kind of funny. But yeah, at the end of the day, you can see all the different proposals that are kind of going on to improve the protocol and add value to token holders and add value to, the ecosystem and have more indexes so that, you can move beyond this DeFi index and you could have many, many, many more indexes of any different methodology, right? You could piece together. It's like Legos. You could make absolutely anything. You could see they already got some gold and crypto asset, hybrid funds that they've got. And you could see, it's got, $600,000 behind it. They've got all sorts of different yield farms. A whole nother conversation for a different day. But yeah, I think there's a lot of potential here. And at a 30 to $40 million market cap, just knowing the team behind it, I'm just really confident that these guys are going to have a really awesome run. Ranked at 540 out of everybody, and I think that they've got a really smart team. So this might be a gem, and it's going to be added to the microcoin portfolio. So check that out. But let's dive into a quick market update. This is index and wrapped ether. It looks like it's got this downtrend that it's forming, but I like this kind of bull flag that it's forming. I think we're going to probably get a nice rotation off this volume point of control at some point here. I don't think that index is going to $20 billion overnight, or it's actually not one of those really quick moving coins, just because there's not that much liquidity behind it. So don't think that this is like one of those get quick rich, very pumpy, quickly moving coin. It's not on many main exchanges yet. So it's a sleeper. It's one that might take a lot of patience. So just know that going into it. So I could kind of see something like this forming, kind of a slower ascent outside of this downtrend angle that we've started to contest here, as you can see. Started to contest, got a little bit of resistance, but you're taking in some volume. But again, this volume point of control is being defended pretty nicely on this recoil right in here. If you zoom in a little bit more, this little recoil right here. It's holding up pretty well in really tight time frames, and so this is the past, this is March 18th right over here, and this is March 22nd. So you could see in the past about 4 or 5 days, it's just been in a tight range, but not much to see there on price action wise. This is a much longer term approach. Let's take a look at BTC. Let's see Coinbase chart. I think this is right now a pretty big bear trap. I see a lot of people freaked out right now. On Twitter and texting, people saying, "Oh, this is a really big dump," and you could see the Elder Impulse. I actually updated my settings on the Elder Impulse system. I could talk about that in a different video, but I've actually honed in my Elder Impulse system quite a bit, so I'm really liking it. It's upgraded. Boom. Let's see there it is. So as you can see here. What this does is it actually slows down your Elder Impulse system and gets actually just a smoother signal and shows the longer term trend. So you can see we're actually still, and this is basically what I changed it to, is to make sure that it's reflecting momentum and trend on a 20 and a 50-day average. So that's what everything's based off of. And you can see that we're still actually in a pretty highly trending environment. I like this resistance that turned into support that looks like it's still turning into support. So it's a horizontal price resistance turned to support, as well as it's matched by this volume weighted average price from the peak, right? So I'm always looking at the peak and an anchored volume weighted average price from significant, climactic levels in volume, like you saw right there. So it's really good, actually. This market structure looks good in BTC. I would be, a huge buyer, if we did get to tap this liquidity down here at around $47,000. Don't think we're going to get it. I don't think funding rates have been that heated. We could go to bybt.com. Check what funding rates look like. So I go to Chart Pro. I go over here, Bitcoin funding rates. Boom. You can click on anything. Funding rates don't look super hot. Whoops. Don't look super overheated, just kind of normal. They looked really hot, March 13th, March 5th to March 15th. And you could see, that was actually pretty near the top, right? When it got overheated. Now funding levels are low, but there's still plenty of momentum in the market. So I think BTC actually looks good. That's why I got a pretty aggressive buy zone in the newsletter. Let me pull that up on this other screen here real quick. Make sure I've got those right. Yeah, 52,500. Zoom in here. So let's see here. 52,500 is one of these levels that right here that we've been marking, that kind of like horizontal resistance that's, if it gets back down, I'm expecting extremely strong support. But you can see we're actually got rising floors here. So there's a chance that, you don't get filled on that before we come back up here to kind of mess around on this, $56,000 level, fill in the rest of this bull flag. But again, you're really, your risk right now is that you could come back down as low as 47,000. Don't know if that's really going to happen. My bets are aggressive right now. Kind of even on a longer term, and because I'm always playing the longer term time frame, right? So you're looking for short term weakness to buy into the long term strength, right? So that short term weakness is, look at this. This is a monster uptrend, right? This is a monster uptrend. You'd be a fool to start trying to build a short position if you don't have a break of long term market structure, right? You're really going to want to start maybe building shorts, like trading, much, much lower. But right now, this is, it doesn't feel like it's a time to be short in BTC, just especially with some of these inflows that we're seeing on Coinbase, in the altcoin market, right? I saw, Compound, for instance, took a bunch of bidding in today. You could see this little hump of volume really starting to accrue on this sell-off. So you can see a lot of limit orders are getting filled. So patient money is getting filled on this panic. That's how I interpret it, right? When you see all this volume, it's not people just, this is real liquidity that's, absorbing all of this panic at a very, very key diagonal support level, mind you. So anybody who's like a big seller down here is a late seller, right? They're selling at these support levels, right? Where price got bought up many times before in the past. So your odds are actually better, to be a buyer down here and to be a seller back up here towards the top of this major down wave and this minor down wave, right? So that's kind of how I'm looking at Aave or comp. I mean, Aave and, Maker and a lot of these coins, these DeFi coins, they all track so tightly. And so you could even use like an index, like, the DeFi index, perpetual futures, kind of like the DPI thing that I talked about through the index coop, the DeFi pulse index. You could see, this is a chart. You could see that the entire market, right? This is basically a picture of the entire DeFi market, hasn't made new highs since February. Like as a cumulative, right? Like the market is down since February. This is like saying like the S&P 500 is, down since February. It's just in a consolidation. So the market is taking in a ton of volume at these levels and it's really accepting of them, right? You can see that this is like a major upwave and just a minor correction within that. So all of these little minor corrections are these buying opportunities of this longer term uptrend. So I'm really actually liking I'm bullish. You could see we could go to the next down the list on the model portfolio. We've got Zcash coming in at 135 for the buy zone, because kind of at the end of the day, I'm thinking that we get some pretty strong support if we do get back down here. We've got a strong anchored volume weighted average price from the lows all the way back here at the end of last year. Right, we've got a really strong uptrend. I'm thinking that if we do get some continued ranging, this should be bought in the near term. If it doesn't get supported because the market's wrong, it's going back down to 115. So there's some pretty good levels to manage your risk around here. I could take a look at LTC down the list. We're popping in at 180. It's at 188. We think, we like to leave a little bit of wiggle room but at the end of the day, this price action to me, especially taking into consideration on an 8-hour time frame, I'm looking at the 20-day and the 50-day moving averages, right? I use an 8-hour chart. And, LTC is in a little bit of a contraction still. But guess what? It's probably very similar to this contraction. Don't you see? Maybe a little bit longer, a little bit more elongated, but it's a very similar environment, right? So it's a buyer's market. So we're looking for, aggressive bids. 180, it's pretty close to the spread right now, 188. But we're saying that, we think that there could be a little bit of downside volatility, but that this whole consolidation and congestion zone, it was this resistance turned into this support. It's coming back down. It's looking like this area right now is going to be support, and it's actually picking up some volume to attest to that. So that's kind of the theme of the week, and I could go on, but all the charts actually are looking the same. They're looking pretty imminent for breakout going into the end of the month. XTZ is actually looking really spectacular. As you can see, it's had this really, really, really long-term resistance. This was a catastrophic high that broke this high. This was all the way back in February of 2020, right back here. This was August of 2020, and we thought we were going to get that follow through above that all-time high. Again, another break above all-time high. So this is a key resistance level, but it's looking like that resistance is very, very, very weak. We are not getting any strong downside reactions from this. We're getting very, mellow, low volume, peaceful, boom, at a very key resistance level. Like, that is not like what you normally see on strong selling points. So that's why I think that the break above 450 on XTZ is going to be pretty wild, because we've already had some flirtation above it on some high volume. So we're just in this contraction, a break above 450. You're probably going to see to continue to see some excitement. So same picture, basic attention token. This one was a coin of, we sent out a trade alert on this one, and we really liked the setup, and we crushed this one. So we're excited for everyone who caught this one. But yeah, continue to be in a massive, massive bull market. Short-term correction for sure. Give it plenty of time to consolidate in this area. Again, this was the move, right? That was the move. And now at the end of the day, we got to wait here for a little while here before we break out above 140 and continue on to new highs. So keep your alerts on basic attention token for a break above 140, because if it breaks above 140, I mean, this, zooming way, way, way out, even, where, I mean, this is, right at its all-time, above its former all-time high. So that would be a break above its all-time high, its new all-time high, and typically have some pretty explosive moves on those new all-time highs. And look, that's just a vertical wall. I mean, that's just pure, a new buyer has entered the market, a new support level has been made. I mean, that's big money to just put a vertical clear out of the order book and sustain it. I mean, this was over the course of 1, 2, 3, 4 8-hour periods, which is, it's a couple days, right? And so at the end, a day and a half. But at the end of the day, right, like, that's serious buying power that just got its force basically exerted into the market. And you want to keep an eye on that, and you want to be on the right side of that. So, at the end of the day, we're looking for some consolidation. Buyers are probably going to show up at $1. More patient buyers are going to show up to defend that at 86 cents. But at the end of the day, getting in at 105, $1, averaging your way into this position for a long-term hold, I think is an awesome opportunity. KNC, that was another one that we put out. We were really excited about, and it did exactly as we said, right? Like, we put the buy. I think I had it on a different chart. Yeah, there it is. Okay, cool. Put this chart out. Notice this consolidation pattern right in here, and we said that this is, this is consolidation, very bullish consolidation above this key bull flag right down here, and that this is, again, at a very key level, volume-wise, and it was also a very key level because it was right above this former resistance level that we actually played in August of last year. So we came back and decided to go heavy on the flip of that resistance to support, and sure enough, it's in trend. So you're going to get some really good price action here in KNC. Continue to see it. Your next buys, you could space them out over the course of the next couple of weeks. This was a really, powerful move. So after these really powerful moves with all this volume, it takes a little while sometimes for the market to coil and then break back out. So you're just looking to make sure that, you still maintain healthy market structure, that you're not breaking back down below 215 and breaking lower. If you do start to see that price action, it is not a buy the dip scenario. It's kind of like the trade's done. So, that's your invalidation point. So that's KNC. And I'm going to take a look real quick at ADA. Similar scenario, a little bit more risk in this one. You could already see, it's actually losing its 20-day moving average, but I just think that this is going to be one that just is going to take a little more while to play out as it catches up with its 50-day moving average. But really sharp moves on Cardano, and it already got listed on Coinbase. If you guys remember, it got listed like right here, and then boom, shot up. And came back down and kind of, it's coming back to a little equilibrium here around, $1 to $1.20. So I'm still looking at, a long position in Cardano, but not eager to add right now by any means. It looks like it's got some time to cool off. Atom looks a little bit better in my opinion. I've got these volume weighted average, or these anchored volume weighted average prices from some key levels here, and it just looks like it's ranging. But you're getting some signs of some bullish flashes and then, cool off. I'm expecting another like bullish wave to contest this high at $24 this week. So, from 19 back up to 25, you're probably going to see some pretty good price action. BNB, this has been a wild one. You guys know we put this alert out on BNB all the way back at $80. I mean, we've been playing it all the way, since, March was when the first buy-in was, back around like $12. But recently, obviously, as it's an uptrend, you buy that, you play the trend, right? And so you look for these opportunities to adjust your risk profile and, lever back into the market. So we saw this move right down here, actually, this really tight consolidation, put out that alert because it had broken above that consolidation. So I'll throw the log on at this point because prices already moved so fast. You need a logarithmic chart to scale it instead of, arithmetic chart. But anyhow, really tight consolidation, breakout, another consolidation, and then just the run. So this one, taking a little while. You can see it's still, very bullish. You're not getting big, downward, red spikes or anything like that. So I'm a bull on this one. Still much higher price targets, especially in light of just, they control so much of the industry. So much of the industry. I would not be betting against Binance. Link USD, a little weaker, right? You can see it's showing some signs of red, but not, it's showing some signs of red and some weaker moving averages on the same time frame, right? But at the end of the day, this is still a buyer's market. It's still in a bull market. You see, I love all this volume that actually came in to break out of the volume point of control. So you see, you actually had some big volume, and it took us above the highs. And now we're sustaining above the highs. And so that's key, right? So now it's just, a little bit, it's not the fastest mover anymore. Link is no longer, it's lost its luster a little bit to the market. So it's still fundamentally strong coin, still around. If there's anything that's probably going to be dropped from the model portfolio next, it would be Link, just because I feel like it's had its day. It's had its time in the sun. I'm not saying I'm a bear. I'm not, by any means not a bear, but, I feel like there's some better opportunities with some smaller cap, higher growth potential. So there will be, as always, continued movement in the model portfolio. Take a look at Uni. Uni has been a real ripper. It's actually been moving very quickly. I expect it to continue moving quickly. I think this is still an all-out buy. As it breaks above currently as we speak, it's looking like it's gunning for new highs above 35. They are a core piece to the decentralized finance infrastructure. I think you'd be pretty remiss to not have some Uni, and that's why we made it one of our most recent additions to the model portfolio. You're looking at re-entry levels. Potentially, you'll be able to get back in this support zone here, this congestion at 30. On some volatility, if Bitcoin sells off big overnight and there's just volatility in the market, you might be able to get a quick spike down. Continue to consolidate, continue to be supported by that 50-day average, continue to be supported by that 20-day average, continue to be supported by all these people building long positions here in the market. And lastly, AGI, which is the most recent addition to the portfolio. You can see it's funny. We entered this into the model portfolio right around here, 28 cents. This was high right here. You're getting this nice market reaction. So, at the end of the day, people entered into the market. There was liquidity. It's coming back down to the anchored volume weighted average price from the peak. It's being supported from this massive consolidation down here. I think that this is still far and away, an awesome buying opportunity at 24 cents. And this sort of really sharp selling This looks, like forced selling. This doesn't look anything like it's, necessarily. It looks similar to this. Very sharp, dramatic kind of just leverage being wiped out of the system, or leverage maybe being taken out of the system based on some of the spot volumes that came in. Don't think anything, fundamental has changed. In fact, you could see huge order was absorbed. So you could see that there's, clearly buyers with limit orders in the market. So for any, selling that came in, it got scooped up, and, there's support in the market. So at 24 cents, I mean, this is an all out screaming buy. And that's the buy zone here, on the money, crowd the spread. I think, for Singularity, that's how it feels to me. So yeah, that's a market update for you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. And take care.